Hey guys, so my friend just got something for her birthday and it's actually something that I've been meaning to check out for the longest time. It's this! Oh, actually you probably can't see what's going on here. So this is the Breville Bambino. I think this is this is just the normal Breville Bambino. So I asked her to let me borrow it and let us do a unboxing and sort of like a quick first impression. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so before I get to open the box, I just want to talk a little bit about the Bambino and who potentially this machine might be for. So the Bambino is one of the newer machines made by Breville. It's meant to be a simplified unit for people who want to have quality coffee at home without having to worry too much about technical stuff. And that is because the machine pretty much presets a lot of things for you. For example, it's going to have a built-in temperature control. It's going to hold its temperature steady at 93 degrees Celsius. It's going to hold its pressure at about 9 bars, and the steaming temperature is going to be about 130 degrees Celsius. So Breville makes two versions of this Bambino. There's the Bambino, and I believe the other one's called the Bambino Plus. Now with the normal Bambino, one of the biggest things is that it does not come with a pitcher. However, it does come with a temper, a single and a double shot filter, as well as a portafilter, obviously. And the operation of the machine is meant to be very, very simple as well. There's just 4 buttons in total. Obviously, you have the single shot, the double shot, the steam, as well as the water. Now, the biggest thing for you guys to consider if you guys are shopping for one of these machines at home is that the Bambino uses one of the newer heating elements, which means it's supposed to heat up super quickly in as short as 3 seconds. For the Breville Barista Express, it does take quite a long time actually to fully heat up. But on the flip side, the Barista Express is going to allow you to have a bit more control just because the pressure gauge can actually go beyond 10 bars of pressure. Not that you want to go that high, however, it will give you a good indication of where your extraction stands. But anyways, for most people, I think this machine is a great unit to start. So let's get the unboxing started. I actually love it when companies put like little details like this. When you first open the box, you're greeted with a nice photograph of just the latte pours. The next thing we have obviously is the instruction manual. This is a quick start guide. We have a descaler. This is, I guess, like a sample descaler. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to know how to descale these units, I will leave the link to the video right up here. Right, so this is the portafilter. Now, I just wanted you guys to know this portafilter actually feels very plasticky in the hand. When you first pick it up, it actually feels very cheap and light, especially when you compare it to the Barista Express portafilter. Yeah, so right now the portafilter that's in there is already the double shot. We have the single shot portafilter. We also have a temper. So this temper actually feels completely made out of plastic. It is very light. I guess if you guys getting one of these at home, I would probably get a heavier temper as a quick upgrade on top of the pitcher that you guys are going to be shopping for. Alright, let me get a good angle to get this out. Alright, you know what, never mind, I give up. I'm just gonna tilt this sideways. We have some styrofoam for protection, obviously. Okay, so you guys probably want to be careful of this if you guys are opening this at home. I think that's everything. Alright, so this is pretty much everything that comes in the box. This is actually a very small unit. Anyways, I knew this unit was going to be a lot smaller than the Barista Express, but seeing it in person, it's actually still a lot smaller than what I imagined. Let me just give you an example. So this is it next to the Niche Zero, but as you can see, it's more or less the same height. Oh yeah, it's obviously a little bit deeper than the Niche, but height wise is pretty much the same. So if you guys have like a low hanging shelf issue on your counter, this actually is a very good unit to get. Both of these, if you just leave them side to side, it takes up more or less around the same space as a Barista Express. Or if you have the budget, obviously in this case you will be getting a much more superior grinder, or any other small grinder of your choice. So as for the Bambino, there's nothing much to talk about the exterior. It's quite clean. This particular unit has got a brushed aluminum finish. This is pretty much everything that comes in it. Alright, so I want to actually turn this on and make a cup of latte with it and see how it feels different than the Barista Express I'm currently using. For you guys watching at home, before you use this unit for the first time, they do recommend that you rinse everything down with some warm soapy water and put it through its initial cycle. Initial cycle is actually quite simple. All you gotta do is put a tray right underneath, and once the machine turns on for the first time, the single shot button will be blinking, and simply press that and let it run through. Let me go ahead and rinse this through, and I'll be right back. Alright, I just got everything washed off, and during the process of me taking everything apart, I kind of noticed a couple things. So number one, on the tray here, you still get that a little water flow indicator with this little red piece. On the Barista Express is just slightly bit more well executed. This is just a simple piece of plastic that's gonna float up. It's nice to have this nonetheless. And so this is washed, and I'm just gonna go ahead and push this in. And on the reverse side of this machine is actually something quite clever. This is where they hit the little cleaning tool. In case you guys are wondering what it is, it's actually right underneath the water tank around the backside here. As for the water tank, I did also notice something very interesting as well. On the back of the tank here, it does tell you the entire descaling process as well as the indication light of when the tank is empty. I think what it's trying to say is that it's going to have a blinking single and double shot. Besides that, one more difference between this and the Barista Express is that this actually does not have a water filter. Barista Express have a kind of a replaceable little water filtration device that's inside the water tank. This one is just a simple valve system. So besides that, the entire machine actually just feels less substantial. Everything just feels a bit more thinner. Everything just feels a slightly lighter and not as robust as the Barista Express, and that's why they justify the price difference. So one more thing about the Bambino that it indicates it's more of a beginner's unit is that both of these portafilter baskets are actually pressurized. So these are both dual wall baskets. I think the Bambino Plus might comes with the normal as well as the dual wall. On the Bambino, you will only get the dual wall. Now the difference between the dual wall and the normal portafilter basket is that the dual wall actually forces the espresso to go through a very small channel and thus artificially increases the pressure. And I guess that is how they guarantee that even for a beginner, you're able to get nice karma. However, because the espresso is artificially enhanced, some, myself included, will argue that a properly ground espresso without the dual wall filter will taste better. However, in this case, it only comes with these two in the unit, but I think it should be the same basket size. So it is actually the same basket size. So if you guys want to get a non-pressurized portafilter basket, just a standard normal basket will fit inside the Bambino as well. Oh, actually, you know what? I just noticed one more thing. Instead of giving you a separate cleaning little gasket thing, they have it built right into the bottom of the portafilter right here. I literally just noticed it just since I took off the but yeah, so I guess when you clean this unit, you simply put the cleaning tablet right inside this thing, which is pretty interesting, I guess. All right, so let's put this together and run it through its first cycle. Oh yeah, this is okay. The other thing I must mention is the way that the portafilter fits into the group head is definitely a very rough feeling. This is another area where it feels less premium than the Barista Express. But again, this is a much cheaper unit. It's obviously meant for a different audience. This is less of a complaint, more of a comparison in case if you are shopping between the Barista Express and the Bambino. All right, so they say to turn on the machine and put a little tray underneath. Hopefully this is enough. Okay, so only the single shot button is on. You press this. Yep, so they say that once both these lights are steady on, then the machine is ready. Alright guys, so I just moved it over to my counter. Sorry if the lighting is not as great over here. But anyways, while I'm here, I just want to give you guys a quick comparison between the turn on time between the Bambino and the Barista Express, because it's actually quite significant. So on the Bambino, the on button is simply the single shot button, and then on the Barista Express, obviously you have a dedicated power. Alright, ready? Okay, so the Bambino's already is already done with the heating up. It's actually a huge difference. I guess there's no kidding between the 3 seconds as well as, I don't know, as compared to the, I guess like a minute or so on the Breville Barista Express over here. I'm just gonna let it run in real time and see how long it actually takes. I actually never timed it. I honestly got used to how long it takes to heat up, but as you can see, the Bambino has long been ready. Alright, so now it has just gotten ready. I think that was about, what, 30 seconds? I think I need to double check the time on that. But anyways, so as you can see, the Barista Express took quite a lot longer to get ready than the Bambino. One more thing that I gotta mention, on the Bambino, there's the water and the steam is actually coming out of the same spout. As you can see, the water just shoots water directly out of the steam one. And then when you wanna do the steam, you press the steam button. But in full honesty, the steam and the water starts up much quicker on the Bambino versus the Barista Express. In case if you guys never tried, this is the Barista Express. As you can see, it takes a while for the pressures to start building up. And then you're gonna see that the machine is going to actually start to make this thumping sound versus the Bambino is actually completely silent in that part. And as of right now, the steam still have not started yet. Right, so now it's actually fully started. So what you would normally do is actually stop it and then put the milk in just to make sure that it started at its prime. And it goes into this annoying, I guess, like a cool down sound versus the Bambino is silent afterwards. So that's one thing that the newer machines does do better than the older machine. And of course, on the Barista Express, there is a dedicated water valve. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a cup of latte. This is gonna be this machine's first cup of latte. And just for the purpose of this exercise, I'm actually going to use the portafilter that came with the Barista Express, as well as the filter basket that came with the Barista Express, just because this way I can have a one-to-one comparison in terms of taste between the two machines. So again, while I have it here, on the right-hand side, we have the one with the Barista Express. It's actually metal, a lot heavier. This is very plasticky, it's very light. And obviously on the bottom, you see a little bit of difference in terms of the two spouts. And we are gonna be using the normal filter basket. Oh, and while I'm doing this, back to the subject of sound, since that is the whole reason why I moved this machine over here. The Bambino makes more or less the same amount of noise as the Barista Express. So another minor inconvenience I gotta mention is that, I guess because one, this is not metal, so therefore it's not magnetic, but I don't really see a place where you can normally store it. I guess you're just gonna have to leave it on top. Okay, yeah, so then now it's nice and temp. Definitely with the metal portafilter, it does feel a little bit better in terms of that, that rough feeling when you're turning this. Okay, let's see. I think it still fits a scale, which is good. I'm just going to do the same way I normally do with the Barista Express, which is press the double shut button and manually stop it when I reach the desired extraction. Hopefully the preset setting is going to give me enough time. Alright, so that's the pre-infusion. That's kind of interesting. So the double shot kind of stops automatically at about 35 seconds. So the beans that I use today is probably a bit more fine for this particular machine. I'm not sure if there's any difference in terms of group head. The interesting thing is that it actually did reach the 34 gram extraction at the end of the entire shot, but the machine stopped automatically at 35 seconds. So if you guys do prefer to kind of manually time your shots, you're gonna have to work a little bit with the grind setting here. So the espresso out of the Bambino looks slightly less pleasant than the espresso that I normally get from the Barista Express. So I'm not sure if this is due to the fact that it's a new machine or, likely it's my grind setting as well. Again, this is just my first opinion. I will hopefully be able to try out this machine for a little bit longer, and then I'll give you guys an actual review down the line. Okay, so instead of the thumping sound, it does still make like this, I guess this swoosh sound, I suppose, if that makes sense. As far as the steaming power, it feels very similar to the Barista Express. Alright, as a first time making it with this machine, the milk came out pretty good actually. I might have over frothed this one a little bit. Right off the bat, you can tell the milk is very frothy. This is gonna turn out to be more of a cappuccino. Yeah, definitely. As a first cup impression, the espresso that I got out of this doesn't feel as full-bodied and complex as the one that came out of the Barista Express. Yeah, it definitely lacks a little bit of character when it compares to the Barista Express. But again, I had that machine for about 4 years, so it's very possible that I'm just better at making a cup of drinks with that one. So that was me making my first cup of drink with the Bambino. Afterwards, I took out the coffee puck and I noticed that there's a lot of holes in the coffee puck, which basically means that there was a lot of channeling that was happening. That might actually be the reason why the drink was not as full bodied, it's a little bit light. It's quite possibly because it's a little bit under extracted. So I went ahead and did this exact same shot with the pressurized filter as well as the porter filter that came with the Bambino. This one came out a little bit better. However, just based on the flow speed of the espresso and the extraction, it seems very over extracted. Within the same amount of time, I got 34 grams of espresso out of the normal basket, and from the pressurized I only got about 30. This is again is with the same grind setting. I haven't tried this cup yet. The milk came out a little bit better, but it's been sitting here for a little bit, so it's getting a little ugly. But I haven't tried it. I have a feeling this is gonna taste quite bitter. Yeah, this is definitely quite a bit more bitter than the first cup. I guess this is a little bit to be expected with the pressurized basket. But again, this is just something that I wanted to point out for you guys. Overall, this video is not really meant to be a review. I will try to borrow this machine to use for a couple more times and try to figure it out. And this way I can give you guys a actual full comparison or like a full review down the line. So for this video, I mainly wanted to give you guys I guess a quick first impression comparison. Just because before I had the Bambino and the Barista Express side to side, I didn't really know the reason why they would have these two machines and exactly, you know, who are each machine for. But after testing them out, it kind of became a little bit more clear to me. The Bambino is definitely more of a no-fuss machine where there's very little options that the machine gives you. A lot of things are pretty much just preset. It's meant to be set up, plugged in, and you simply just use it. While the Barista Express still holds on to that idea, however, it does give you more options in terms of the actual extraction time, the amount of pressure that the machine can go up to, and the ability to monitor it manually, and of course just a overall better build. So the cost of having a Bambino along with a normal grinder, it doesn't even have to be the niche grinder, it could just be the Encore or let's say like a Breville grinder. The price altogether is going to come out to be more or less the same as the Barista Express. So therefore, I guess if you want something that's a higher quality build as well as a bit more room for manual options down the line, the Barista Express will be a better option. However, if you don't want to deal with any of that and you just want to have a machine that's going to give you cafe quality drinks at home, then yeah, I think the Bambino is an excellent machine. So anyways, I didn't really see much videos about this topic out there, so I decided to throw this out there for you guys this week. Hopefully you guys will find it to be useful. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please take a moment and give us a like on this video if it helped you out. And of course, share this with anybody who might also find this video to be helpful. And of course, subscribe to the channel for future content. That is it for this episode, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.